One of the questions that I just wanted to ask, just super generally, is like, what are the guidelines or what do you encourage in terms of how people think about scanning? Because it may be, obviously, just in that example alone, it's like, I'm probably completely wrong to think that you wait until, you wait until later on in life to do scanning. How do you think about it? How do you encourage patients to think about it?
Yeah, so we believe it should be the consumer's prerogative whether they should get scanned or not with an MRI because it's a safe modality. If you're 20 and you want to get a scan, you should be able to get a scan. And we've certainly have had many people who were young and not at high risk who got scanned. The interesting thing is when you speak with doctors, they go like, "Oh, well, before under 40, the probability of cancer is so low that it doesn't make sense to get screened." But yet, 150,000 people in the United States every year are under 40 and they find cancer, symptomatically, which means their cancer had existed for a while. So, tell that to the guy who's, 28 and just found out he had pancreatic cancer and that they shouldn't get scanned. You can't. And so we think that what is best for the individual is best for the individual, and the individual should have the freedom to choose. And the individual didn't have the freedom to choose until recently. And I'm actually excited that Ezra is one of the companies that is able to provide that freedom to the people.
Well, yeah. And it's not just democratizing access, it's doing it in a way that's bringing down the cost and bringing down the time requirement, which is truly what needs to happen. Because again, I think just to like connect it to a larger picture, I forget what conversation what this that this was, but I've learned a lot about healthcare and some of the statistics just around annual inflation. I think this was from Adrian Aonown from Forward was talking about, that I think today, even if you look at the healthcare costs in the US, it's something staggering. It's like 30% of GDP is spent just on healthcare.
18% of GDP.
18% on GDP. And I think it's headed to 30.
Yeah.
But one of the other most surprising things is, and this is not shocking, but so if we think that that's growing, it's actually there's inflation embedded in healthcare costs and it's rising at 8 or 9% year over year. We're talking about that now at an economy wide level and shocked that inflation is 8 or 9%, yet here it is in healthcare and it's been happening for decades now. And so you guys are truly, bringing deflationary forces into at least a small area of healthcare where we need that literally across the board, across the entire surface area.
And here's the staggering statistic, Daniel. 80% of the 18% of GDP, so 80% of healthcare costs are attributed to managing end-of-life chronic care in the last 3 to 6 months of one's life. So we're spending 80% of our budgets in extending life by 3 to 6 months. We should be spending 80% of our budgets in preventing or detecting early so that you extend life by 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, not 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, no, it's very well said. I mean, it's a shocking stat.
When I found out, I was shocked.
Well, yeah, and you combine that with other things. One of the data points that, I uncovered in another conversation recently was that, right now in the US, I think this data is somewhat old. I think it's around 2016. There's around 72,000 people that were centenarians, and that's expected to be over 1 million by the year 2050. And so you think that if today 80% of healthcare and 18% of GDP is because of end of life, that's going to absolutely explode when you have this order of magnitude explosion in that population.